And good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of It Remains to Be Seen, where we talk about missing persons, crimes, mysteries, and just things that have gone on unsolved. And here in a moment, we're going to introduce our guest. Um, First, on the left-hand side of your screen is your beautiful hostess, Lori. And over here on the right is myself, Bob. And I'm switching over to this other scene. And we have Skyla, who is the mother of Aaron Prayer, who sadly was he was killed in 2018, and they have not found um, the individual or individuals who did it. And would you both mind just counting to three for me, because I didn't get to do the sound test to make sure that sound is working on the individual or individuals who did it. And
3, 2, 1.
would you both mind just counting to three for me, because I didn't get to do the sound test to make sure that sound is working on the individual or individuals who did it. And
3, 2, 1.
would you both mind just counting to three for me, because I didn't get to do the sound test to make sure that individual or individuals who did it. And
3, 2, 1.
would you both mind? Uh-oh. I don't know what's going on. There's like some weird. Skylar, would you mind counting to three for me, please?
Can you hear me?
Okay, let me take a
1,
look.
2, 3.
Okay, so I'm going to mute myself and then come out here on the mic. Would you mind counting to three for me, please?
1, 2. Can you hear me?
Okay, let me take a
1,
look.
2, 3.
Okay, so I'm going to mute myself and then come out here on the mic. Would you mind counting to three for me, please?
What happened? Did we freeze?
No, he's just listening to see if he can hear us both on.
Oh. Lyric, what's the matter with you, pumpkin? What's the matter? You want some milk? Give me a bottle. That chunky baby. Come here, let me see if you need your pepper chain.
I don't know, Bob, what you're doing, but you're muted probably.
Oh shoot, sorry. There's a weird echo problem going on. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna end the messenger call, and then I'll call right back and see if that resolves it.
Okay.
Okay, I'll call right back literally like in a couple seconds.
Okay.
All right. Okay, guys, so we're having some technical issues here. I'm gonna see if this can be fixed. I don't know what's going on. Just a moment. And I think that the window has dropped. So you have to love technology, especially when it does stuff like this. This is one of the crazy things about being live. Okay, so I'm going to come back to Messenger, and I'm going to initiate this call again. Let's see what we get here. Initiate. Okay, let's see what we get here. Initiate. Okay, let's see what we get here.
Hello?
Okay, can you both hear me?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm just checking our sound out here on YouTube to see if everything is like better now and there's not an echo.
Hello?
Okay, can you both hear me?
Fix it.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm just checking our YouTube to see if everything is like better.
Gonna fall.
Okay, sorry about that. I'm just making sure we're not having a crazy echo going on out here. So I'm just checking our
Stop,
YouTube, which is weird, to see if everything is like better.
Gonna fall.
Okay, so those of you out in chat, are you hearing an echo? It seems like there's some crazy stuff going on.
I don't hear anything on my end.
That's not echoing on mine.
Yeah, no, no. I mean, like, I'm kind of playing the YouTube audio out there to see. Just one second. I want to mute really quick. I just, sorry
Oh,
guys, but go on
you
ahead for a
fine.
moment, and I'll be right back.
All right.
Hey, Yvonne. Hey, Bob. Yvonne says there's no echo on YouTube.
EJ, go throw
Sweet,
this.
sweet. Okay. Oh,
Yeah. You
I know
off the
what it
bed?
was. I know what it was.
Oh.
When I was checking the audio over here, it was like a loop back on the virtual audio cable, I think. So, okay, good, good. So again, oh my goodness, I gotta go out. I gotta go over here to OBS, and it has the wrong person on screen. So just a, but okay, you gotta love this live stuff, guys. It just
Take your time. It's okay.
I'm not pulling the
It's
blind card on this
complicated
either,
sometimes.
but for everybody who's out there right now, we have Skyla out here,
Okay,
and
you do know that's my picture, right? Oh, you took it down. Never mind.
yeah, I'm gonna have to fix it. So
Oh.
I'm probably gonna have to crop it live, which is fine.
Ooh. You get to see him in
No,
action.
I'm like on the spot, on the spot tonight.
You're just a fumbling today, man. Just chill.
I
Breathe.
don't know what it
Breathe.
is, and then
Just breathe.
I have to see myself on camera over there, and
Oh boy.
oh my gosh, like okay,
Well, I don't know if I said it already, Yvonne, but welcome. Oh, I'm
yes,
sorry you've been sick.
yeah, I'm definitely sorry to hear that as
Missed you
well,
too.
Yvonne. Definitely glad to have you out here, and so Skylar, would you like to tell us a little bit of background on your story?
Yes. My son, he was killed June 4th, 2018 in East St. Louis in apartment complex called the Alpha Plazas on Wilmer Place. Unfortunately, he was not the first person that ever killed there because before him it was like a couple more and I wasn't aware of any of that. But to make a long story short, I don't really know a whole lot, but from what I've been told, because I wasn't there, I was at work when it happened, and I had got the call when I was at work. And
Wow.
from the people it was like broad daylight. A lot of people was outside. My son had words on Facebook with a guy about a female that my son was going with at the time, that he was
Hmm.
living with. That's where he was killed at her house. The dude, like he knew everything about like when he went to work, when he
Oh my
came
gosh.
home, when he went to church, who he was gone with, whatever he was doing for that day. The dude, he knew his whereabouts.
Wow.
It's like she was playing two roles. She was supposed to be talking to the dude, and she was dating my son. So she was telling my son about the guy inboxing her on Facebook, and in her inbox trying to talk to her. So this particular time, I guess my son was around, and him and dude was on her page going back and forward, and dude was threatening. He threatened my son. He was like, "Well, it's like that when I see you. You better get me before I get you." My son was not a violent person. Keep in mind, my son did not have a weapon at all.
Hmm.
They're saying my son is guilty because of affiliation, because the people that he were with at that time had guns and they were able to shoot back. Had they not shot back, they all probably would have been dead. Everybody out there shooting, broad daylight time. My son is the only person that got hit. They said my son was hit one time. My son was hit multiple times.
Oh
My
my
son
gosh.
had a bullet to the back and he had a bullet to the back of his head. So he was shot more than one time. My son was able to make it probably a step away from his doorway. He was able to get his girlfriend's little daughter. She was probably like 4 or 5 at the time. He was able to get her into the apartment where she was not harmed. But
Wow.
we don't know if that time he had already been hit or if he got hit afterwards. My
Oh my
nephew was
gosh.
present. My little cousin was present, and it was a couple more people present. My son thought the dude came to fight because he had on like flip flops. He sent my little cousin up the stairs to get his tennis shoes. By the time my little cousin got to the steps, they heard the gunshots.
Wow. I'm so sorry that you went through that. Like,
Yeah,
And it's
that's
like the girl
terrible.
sat there and literally she shook my son to death because
oh my
you wouldn't go
gosh.
call the ambulance. You wouldn't go get no help. You just sat there and let my son die. And I feel like you know more than what you're saying because your story not adding up. First you was asleep, then you was doing her. You can't do both at the same time. So which one was you really doing?
Yeah.
They had my nephew to take a lie detector test because he was arrested, but he was arrested for something that he did prior to whatever was going on with my son. It was something else that he was involved in at that time. And he got arrested for that and went to jail and turned himself in. And he took a lie detector test and they questioned him about, I guess, what had went on with my son, but they was like it was inexclusive, which means that he didn't lie, I guess, or he didn't tell the truth. But none of that was accountable because they felt like in the beginning, everybody lied to them when he asked them did they have guns. But these is a bunch of kids. They like 17 and 18. You think they gonna tell the police, yeah, we got a gun? They not gonna tell the police they got a gun because most of
Exactly.
these kids are scared of the police. So when my nephew went to juvenile, his lawyer was present and they questioned him again and he told them, yeah, everybody they all had a gun, but my son didn't have one. So my thing is, how is my son guilty and he didn't even have a gun at all? It's like dude shot him when he turned his back to walk away because
My
he was shot
gosh.
from the back.
I can't even imagine.
And it's not like they don't know who the dude is because they know who people out there talk, but they won't really talk to the police. But people that's come to me, they know who it was. And my nephew told me who it was. And I believe it because when I see the guy, he can't even look me in my face. He turned his head and turned his back to me and dropped his head. And at one point, it's like we was getting harassed by him. He was
Wow.
following my kids around and trying to befriend people that I was friends with on Facebook. Had his friends even sending me messages, and I'm like, I don't know you because whenever somebody send me a message, a friend request, I go through their friends to see how many friends that we have in common and how do I know you because I'm
Mm-hmm.
not familiar with your face. So I type in his name and I see they was friends with him, and I was like, well, what do you want from me? Because I see you friends with this one other person. What is it that you want from me? I don't know you. What you need from me?
Sounds like they're trying to, cover themselves, like wondering what's going on out there and trying to put out what would you call it, like spies, you
Yes.
know, and that's in the psychologically speaking, for him to not even look you in the eye, that says a lot.
We did a march for another lady whose son was killed in East St. Louis. We did a march and we was in the neighborhood where the guy lived. And this is like a bad neighborhood because all these little Thundercats down there, I guess they probably got murders on their belt. They didn't kill people, you know. And they're the same ones that is accused of killing her son. So we
Oh my
walking down the
gosh.
street, they all standing at the house like they got literally got guns on them. And the dude standing out there too the whole time, he got his back to me while we marching down the thing. But the lady's son go up in the yard. And we's like, no, you don't go in people's yard because they can pull out a gun and it's kids and everybody. And we walking and we having a march. Come on now. But they all from the same neighborhood.
Oh my gosh. So, a couple of people in chat, Yvonne Jameson. Jameson's a retired criminal defense attorney. Yvonne, I'm going to read this really quick. She said, She said, "OMG, so sorry, Skyla." She said, "We are so sorry for your loss. No words can, change the outcome. This is devastating to hear." Jameson says it sounds like a cover up to me with what they're doing. They're getting away. They're
Yes,
getting away with crap.
because how are you solving all these murders, but you can't even solve my son's murder? It's like the police left out so much evidence at the scene. People were coming up to the scene, finding evidence that the police walked over and didn't even see. And then I feel like if y'all had a trauma center here, something close by to get our kids to, when tragedies like these happen, maybe they'll live. It took my son laid there. He got killed around 6:30, 7 o'clock, or probably later. He laid there till like 12 or 1 o'clock until the coroner even came and pronounced him dead on
Oh
that
my
nasty
gosh.
cold floor. My child laid there. People walked over him, a lady was like, "Ma'am," she said, "Your son died in front of my door." She said, "I was on the phone calling 911, and she said they asked me so many questions." And she was like, "He was breathing when I first called." And I was like, well, people taking pictures. They come in to take pictures of him and video record him. They just looking and walking over him. She said, "This is somebody's child. I got a son too, and I would want somebody to do the same." She said, "I'm finna cover this baby up." And they was like, "No, don't cover him up." She said, "No, I'm gonna cover him up because this is somebody's child. They violating."
Exactly.
Wow.
That's something that ticks me off is that nowadays when things like this go down, instead of trying to help, people grab their cell phones because they want to get a viral
And they
video
go
or some crap
video,
like
go
that.
live, exactly.
Exactly.
Hey,
It's
Greg.
terrible. And really quick, Greg was asking, what's up, guys? And we have Skyla out here. Her son was gunned down. He was 21, right, Skyla?
Yes, he was
At this,
21.
he was gunned down in front of an apartment building, and there was like literally nothing done to bring justice to it. And so she's sharing her story. We got to talk with her a little bit beforehand, and just really amazing what she's doing because she's, I mean, there's the trauma and the bitterness to go through, and the stages of grief. But when it comes to the police department, um, do you have any thoughts, and even if they're just personal, that you would be
I
comfortable
mean, I
discussing
just
as to
feel like
why?
that. I just feel like they don't do enough.
Yeah,
They don't do enough. And if I'm doing your job for you, if you want me to get out here and get all the information, then what are you getting paid for?
right.
Because at first it was not enough information. Then when you got the information, now you need to know who shot first. What difference does it make to who shot first? Everybody that had a gun that was out there shooting is guilty because first of all, you're shooting in broad daylight in a housing complex where you're not only putting other people's life in danger, but his kids live here.
Exactly. Exactly.
So why aren't everybody that had a gun that was out there held accountable for what my son's life?
It doesn't
Agreed.
make any
If they all were
sense.
shooting, everybody should be held accountable for it.
Agreed. Agreed. And
Why aren't y'all pushing hard? Because they know more than what they're saying.
it seems like nowadays the ones who deserve the justice don't get it, and the ones who deserve to have justice served on them get away scot free. It just, the
You
people who
only
did what
letting
they
them,
did.
you only keeping them loose to kill more though, to,
That's
to
it.
kill more
Yep.
people. Once
That's
they
it.
kill once, they feel like they got away with it. So if I can get away once, I can do it again. It's
Like,
never gonna end.
no, they got a slap on the wrist, and it's like, oh yeah, go on and go play, just don't do it again.
We're
Jameson
only
says
89 blocks. We're only 89 blocks. Come on now.
James
89 blocks. Everybody know everybody. Come on. You know what's going on in the city. 89 blocks, that's not a whole lot. And it can't be that many killers when you ain't got that many blocks.
um Jameson was asking if you have legal counsel, and he said commonly you see the police disrespecting people who don't have counsel helping them.
I've had nobody to help me. I've been like through this journey on my own, besides with a few little youth groups that I've affiliated with that I've met along the way going through my storm. And they became my family,
Yeah,
because wherever I fight, whatever I go, they right there with me. Whatever I want to do, they're right there supporting me 100%.
exactly. really quick, and we had talked about this before, but it's already slipped my mind, and I apologize for that. But you had started a Facebook group, and I was going to go and try to search that on Facebook so that I can put that link in the chat for everybody and in the description. What was the name of that group again, if you don't mind sharing?
It's called Families Against Gun Violence.
Okay, I'm gonna search that really quick here and make sure that I have the right one. I'm just trying to see. Okay, Families Against Gun Violence public group. Um, I just want to make sure that it's the right group so that when I put the link out there. Oh, yep, I've got it. I just saw your post at the top there. So saw your name and I was like, yep, I got the right one. Okay, so this is a group that Skyla created out on Facebook, as she mentioned, Families Against Gun Violence. I'm going to put that on their chat. I'm also going to put this in the YouTube description for anybody who's catching the replay. But you know, be sure to go out there and show some support over there. Let's see. Greg says I'm almost here, just getting cat fed. There should be he says there should be help. Jameson said you might be able to get some pro bono legal aid. I'm from Georgia, so I don't know the situation in your community and the available resources. If you want to apply pressure, I believe counsel, and I think that YouTube kind of cut off his comment because he said I believe counsel would be very helpful, and he has Jameson, what did you say? And correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't you say that you were criminal defense attorney for 44 years? And it sounds like that those officers and you know the department out there, they really need to be put under some pressure, because to let
Jameson
this.
said yes.
Okay, 44. I actually remember, Jameson. My mind isn't completely shot today, I guess. So I don't know. I'm wondering if like I don't know if you've gone this route before or not, but like using a crowdfunding service, even to try to raise money if there isn't anything available pro bono, to try to raise money for 'cause you guys deserve justice. That's a crock of crap as to what happened out
And
there.
it's like it's not just me. It's like so many families here are being overlooked. Their kids, they loved ones have been killed, and they have no closure. My granddaughter called me. She said, "Grandma, can you bring my dad back? Keep in mind, she was like 1 or 2 when she's now 5 years old. So she was like 2 years old. No, wait a minute,
Oh,
3 years ago. She was 2 years old when he got killed.
oh my
So she have
gosh.
no memories of her dad. The only memories she have are pictures, and that's it,
That
and
poor little
videos.
girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, while these others are just out there doing the same crap that they were doing, and more people are having to go through loss because of their actions.
Yep.
Um, Jameson says it sounds to me like law enforcement isn't taking. He said it sounds like law enforcement isn't taking you seriously. He said I'm not down there though, so I don't know. But he said it sounds to it sounds as though law enforcement isn't taking you seriously. And yeah, the crowdfunding, or I'm not I'm not familiar with looking up pro bono when it comes to legal. I'm dealing with a totally different situation that I really would probably
What is
have
that?
a better experience with if I had legal, but I don't know. But in your particular case, Jameson, what type of attorney would need to be reached out to for this? I'm just really sorry that you guys have had to go through this, and that the people who did it, they're out there living their lives as if like they didn't do anything wrong. There were no consequences, because if if the person or the persons who did this had some consequences that they had to suffer for what they did, it would set an example to the other people, like, oh crap, we better not mess around in this lifestyle, or else we're going to be locked up or whatever.
They
Okay,
can
so
even go back and question the guys that were out there. My nephew, he's in prison, and the guys that were out there with him that were supposed to have guns, they were shooting back. They in prison too. They in prison serving life terms for murder. So go back and question them. Their stories may change.
right. So Jameson said that he said a civil rights attorney would be the kind of attorney you would need to reach out to. He said this sounds to me, um, from what I've heard, like a civil rights issue, um, based upon the fact that uh, you collected the evidence, and so he thinks that it's a civil rights issue that's taking place here. Um, I can't guarantee that I would come up with anything, but I can try to look around that area. And now you're in St. Louis
I'm
or
in East St. Louis,
East St. Louis? Okay,
Illinois.
okay, okay. Um, if anybody else is watching and you have better search skills for legal organizations, drop us an email. Our email is in the description. It's ionentertainmentnetwork@gmail.com. Um, but this, justice needs to be brought for this situation. Like, you have a family who has to live on while the ones who took these actions are just walking out there scot-free. Um, Jameson says the issue basically is that law enforcement won't investigate right, Skyla, and he said nothing you have tried is working. He was asking. He said is the issue that law enforcement wasn't investigating right and nothing you were trying was working.
No.
Okay, so pretty much like everything that you tried, law enforcement just wasn't putting in the effort,
Well, I
so to speak.
really didn't really try anything for real. Only thing I did, I was had a march out there on the site, and really all I was doing was contacting the state police, asking them as
Gotcha.
many questions as I had, and they really didn't give me much information because they didn't really know anything.
Wow.
They was not like really keeping me up to date on anything, and I feel like the family shouldn't have to reach out to you for information. You should keep them notified. If you over that case, you should keep them notified about what's going on with that case.
Yeah, I don't know how it works, but I agree with that thought process because if you were calling and wanting information, you know, let's see, Jameson says you might want to try the DA's office if you haven't tried the DA's office, that might be a step to take. Um, I can try to look up the information for that.
Like,
Um,
I'm really starting to worry about like law enforcement in the United States. I'm just saying.
there's some
Like,
messed up stuff out there.
It went up to the prosecuting attorney, I guess, and it was denied because they said they didn't have enough evidence to convict the guy and take him to jail. It was not enough evidence.
Wow.
So basically, the man was telling me, he said the case was dropped. And I'm like, how? Oh, it was closed. How do you close a case when it have not been solved? How do you close a murder when it have not been solved?
Yeah, exactly. It just doesn't make any sense. Um,
yeah, no kidding.
so
Makes absolutely no sense.
so instead of I mean, I understand that psychologically the stage of grief are going to be there. Oh, that sounds so cute. I miss my boys being that little. um, um, instead of allowing bitterness to consume and going to some extreme measures, you're trying to make some positive changes, and you were talking a little bit about that. And would you mind sharing with all of us, out here, just some of those things that you were sharing with us before the show, what you were
Some of
doing
the
to just.
things,
Hmm.
some of the things that I do, like during Christmas time, my little group, we do a toy. We take up toys and stuff, and we do a little thing like a little brunch with Santa for victims who have lost their parent or their parents or their loved one to violence. We have like a little brunch and we give them little gifts, just to let them know, just because, their parents are gone, life still go on and there's somebody that's somewhere that's still thinking of them. They're not alone.
That's what this world needs is more of that. Um, where people are actually showing that they care. 'Cause I think now, and correct me if I'm wrong because you know the area there a lot better. I'm over here in Modesto, California, so I think it's a totally different ball game.
Oh
And
yeah.
Lori, she's up in British Columbia in Canada. Um, okay. Oh wait, Jameson said no, that's fishy. He said you don't close a criminal matter when you lack evidence to convict. He said they may in fact lack the evidence, but closing the case isn't how that's handled. It becomes a cold case per se. Um, he said something is up with that. Um, so it just it's messed up, and but what you're doing though, I mean, as opposed to resorting to things like that's what I was going to say was, um, I'm guessing that because I know here in Modesto even there's gang activity, and I'm gonna assume that there's probably something like that over there, and a lot of these kids they get involved because the family is broken and
Yes, they
you
don't
know
have no
right
guidance and no structure, no dads in these homes. These are moms raising these kids. Don't get it wrong, I was a mom too raising mine, but they had fear for mom more than anything. So they wasn't out here in this world doing stuff they weren't supposed to be doing. I ain't gonna
exactly
say they was perfect, but they never. My son, only time he went to jail was like a year before he got killed, and he was with another little girl, and somebody started shooting at them. So he had a gun in the car, and Fairview Heights police, they was kind of racist. They pulled him over without probable cause for
yeah
no reason,
that
and
really
put
is ridiculous.
they knee in his back and searched his car without even asking him permission to search it. And they found the gun in the car, and they took him to jail for it.
So ridiculous. And I'm sorry to hear
Wow.
about that happening as well. Yeah, that
They'll take him to jail for that, but
Yeah,
they
they
won't
took
take
him
the
to
guy
jail for
that
that. My
killed
son
him.
was actually due to start a new job like the next day. The next day, the day after he got killed, he was supposed to start a new job.
wow.
Wow.
He was into church. He was a good kid, you know.
Yeah,
He used to always tell me, "Now, Mama, God got you." He said, "As much as you go to church, you know how to pray."
Mm.
he sounded like a good kid.
Yeah, he
Um,
was a good. He was a great kid.
well, and it sounds like you've done a good job with him too. I mean, like you said, he wasn't perfect. I mean, none of us is perfect, but if we're trying, like, that's what matters because there are some people they don't try. And there are people who deal with mental illnesses and other things like that, but they do their best. They do the best that they can to try. And it sounds like you were a good mom. You
And I
were.
see so many young kids that's like falling from, for not having that love that they need, that's in this community that's walking around with nobody to care. And they out here looking for attention and they out here wanting to gain some prop and they out
Yep.
here killing and doing whatever they got to do to get noticed.
Yeah.
They doing whatever they have to do to feel like they somebody special.
Yep. Exactly. Because a lot of these gangs. I remember I used to participate in a juvenile hall ministry at a place that I was involved with years ago, and there were these stories where these kids their family was broken, and these gangs they say, well, you can be a part of our family, but you got to do this first,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and they suck you in. I mean, it's a cult in and of
We'll take
itself.
care of you. We got your back. We gonna protect you.
Yeah, all you gotta do is just go out and shoot somebody down. You just gotta do
Yeah.
this, and they
And
get
when I
sucked
get
into
life
this.
in prison, how you gonna protect me then? You ain't gonna even know me no more then.
I just want to know how a person you can, like, even like a kid, like a young adult, how they can take somebody's life and not even bat an eye. Like
And
that.
have no remorse. Have no
Exactly.
remorse.
To
It
be able to
Walk
see
around like
the,
they've done nothing.
you
yeah,
know
to be able to see the mother and just be like, yeah, it's no big deal.
the thing
It's just
is,
baffling.
my my opinion on it, and it's probably just because of listening to different shows on Netflix before I go to bed sometimes. But the theme in a lot of these shows is the same. You know, you murder somebody once, and the more that you do it, the easier it becomes
Yes.
without the remorse, and it
Yes.
just takes that one step. And
And it's like what, you become hard to it, or
Like
yeah,
you
yeah,
transform into a superhero or somebody,
yep,
you transform.
yeah,
Oh,
wow.
because
I got this.
yep, because you're being taught by these people because you're working for this acceptance, and you're being taught you have this little device, and you get to play God. You get to choose whether a certain person gets to live or they die.
Yeah, like playing Russian roulette with somebody's life.
Jameson says because we have four parents in this room, good parents, but we're a minority in this nation. Yeah, I agree, Jameson.
No,
Totally agree.
and then you can't be a good parent if you never had one, so you don't know how to be a parent. But
And
that
the
should make you even more determined to want to be one because of
yep,
what you have to go through. You shouldn't want your family to go through that.
my my dad when he was alive, he the only memories that I have of him were abusive memories.
Oh wow,
And
sorry.
no, it's okay. And my mom did the best. Like there were four of us, and she did the best that she could. And when I grew up, when I got older, I started looking at myself and I was like, okay, I can either choose to be like my dad, or I can walk away and do everything I can to be unlike him. And
Exactly.
and I want to be the kind of dad to my kids. I mean, I'm not perfect. I'm not. None of us is. But
That's right.
but I do the best I can to be the dad to them that I didn't get to have.
Exactly.
And that's the thing. It's like some people don't make that choice. And as they grow older, they keep going down this downward spiral, and it gets worse and worse. And the in situations like what you're dealing with are the result, and you and other families have to pay for this because these people are trying to work for acceptance to get into this supposed family. Like whenever an organization says the word family and has the word family associated with it sets me on edge because in some of those cases it's a sorry, mine in the background. Um, but when some of these organizations or these groups, not all of them, but some of them, when they say family, it sets me on edge
Lay
because I
down.
came
Oh,
out of
it's
a
too late to lay down. Your mama be here in a minute.
but you know, it just it's heartbreaking that you had to go through what you went through because some other people just fell down this spiral working for acceptance from the wrong people. And instead of learning that, they can accept themselves and that they can go forward and they can do something. Like, okay, would you mind sharing would you mind sharing, and don't feel like you have to answer anything that you're not comfortable with answering out here. But what you were talking about earlier before we came on about going to school and things. Would you mind sharing that part of your story as well?
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, I dropped out of school going into my 12th grade year. And I had like been, through back and forward through the GED programs or whatever throughout my kids' childhood. And um my son, both of my sons dropped out of high school. Before my son got killed, I made a promise to him and my other son that if they went back to school to get their GED, that I would go back to school to get mine as well. I'll go with them. We can go together. Unfortunately, my son didn't get to go, but me and my oldest son, we went back to school. And not only did we get our GED, we got our high school diploma July 15th, 2020.
And that's awesome. Like, and I don't mean it in any patronizing way, but that really is
No,
something
that
to be proud of.
exactly. That's amazing.
And you're doing what many parents aren't, and you're leading by example. And that's just it's awesome. I mean that touches my heart in a really big way, and I just I'm glad to hear that, and you know you're you're a good mom. I can hear that in your voice. I can hear your love for your kids, and nobody can take that away.
No. And it's like I started having kids at a young age, so we like grew up together. So we had like a real tight, close bond. I had a special kind of bond with my kids, you know. We was a close family.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like it.
So it
And
don't only affect me, it affect, my children too. And as well
right,
as the grandkids because they were little. So they never really got a chance to know him, but they know of him. Because we make sure we keep his memory alive. We
yeah,
still celebrate his birthdays, his death days, and all that. We have parties just as if he was still here.
love you too, RJ. It just what you know. I wish I could say more. As far as like Lori and I, financially we don't really have much of anything. But what could we do, or what could people do who are watching this? What could we do to help?
Um, well, I mean, right now, all I'm asking for is people to pray for our city, pray for our babies, and pray that we find a solution to end this craziness.
Agreed.
I think every parent deserves answers as to what
Yeah,
happens to their child.
yeah, I completely agree with that. Um,
People in the no snitch rule. Get rid of the no snitch rule. It ain't snitching.
agreeing.
Silence is violence. If you sit there and watch someone harm someone or take someone's life and you don't do anything to intervene, you don't call the police or get help, then you just as worse as the person that's doing it.
Exactly.
I
Don't
totally
wait
agree with you
until
on
a
that.
death come knocking at your door and it's your loved one and your family member, and then you want help and you want someone to tell.
I completely agree. Um, so I have your Facebook group in our description, and I put it out there in the chat, and hopefully, there will be some more people to come out in support of that, because there's no excuse for what you guys went through.
Exactly.
And
That's
on
crazy.
the side of law enforcement, I mean, shoot, if any of them are watching this, shame on you. Like, you guys should be out there protecting and serving. Shame on you for that. Like, I don't even know what to say. I'm not typically the person who, you ask Lori. I'm not generally, unless I am severely upset about something. I'm not the person who cusses very much or anything like that. But the people who dropped the ball on this, they should be ashamed of themselves. There's no excuse for it.
I think what he's trying to say is it's a whole bunch of bullshit.
There we go. She'll say it for me. She'll say it for me.
I cuss all the time and he doesn't. So we're total opposites. And this is like,
I'll drop a 50-pound thing on my toe and be like, "Oh crap!"
like, oh darn. Here's me, like every sentence dropping the F bomb, and I'm just like, oh, I feel so out of place.
Yeah, I don't know how much my researching skills can come in with this, but I can try to see if I can look up, pro bono civil rights attorneys out in that area. If that would be of any help to you, I can try to see if I can find anything. Um, if you think that would be of any help,
So
because
I just want to know something. Sorry, Bob.
you're fine.
I want to know something. So basically, your son was murdered, and they just sent you pretty much on your way. Like this happened, and here you are. Like they didn't help you do any like with anything to do with it. Not even give you information.
No.
That's
They like give you bits and pieces. And I had got so frustrated with the state police at the point to where I felt like y'all question the family like we did it. You need to be out here trying to get the person that did this. You know why I like really clicked out on them, and I was like, you know what? And from this point, I can't talk to y'all. So my son's auntie, she would start communicating with them, but then they weren't really telling her anything either.
Yeah, I think that's so dumb because, I mean, out of everybody in this world, the parent deserves to know more than anybody else, I feel.
I agree.
That's their baby.
I agree. There's no excuse for that. And I wish I knew more to say. Like, I don't feel like I'm the best at doing interviews and things, and that's why I appreciate you sharing your story and everything. And I'm like, okay, I think I have a question, so I'll ask this one.
It's okay.
You know, we're just glad that you're willing to come out here and share your story. I mean,
I love that too. I'm shy and nervous.
I'll be like that sometimes too.
I'll be like,
that's
I
all
don't
good.
know.
But it's a good thing, though. I think it's a good thing to have that nervousness, because if you were coming out and like, oh yeah, I got this, and this is, and there's no nervousness, then I think it like comes across sometimes as like overconfident or cocky or whatever you want to
I
call
was
it.
gonna say cocky. Yeah.
Like, oh yes, I've got all these questions, and we're gonna just do this, and just
Have it all planned out and then get up there and just get the
Yeah.
shaking. I'm like, oh my
Yeah,
God.
no, we usually fly by the seat of our pants out here, but we just whenever we have people on here, or even out here in the chat, we want people to come out here and feel like they're at home. We do have a couple of stalkers who watch this channel, who would like to try to make our lives miserable, but other than them, there's some really good human beings out here.
You know, it's always some haters.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Oh,
That
yeah.
means
Darn
if
sure.
you got to watch it, you doing something right. Got to keep doing it.
Exactly.
Yep, exactly.
Haters are gonna hate.
Isn't that the truth? Exactly. And
So did you want to hang around for the rest of the show?
I can.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, we'd be
Because
glad to have you.
we'll have just like a little intermission here because we played this video.
Okay.
I'm sorry, it's 5 minutes tonight,
All right.
but it's a good one.
Okay.
Yeah, so you won't be able to hear any of it because it's playing on the on the broadcasting
station.
software, but
Okay.
it'll come through on YouTube.
Okay.
So just feel free to take a little break if you need, and we'll be back in about 5 minutes. And so everybody out there in the chat, and if you're watching on the replay, the link to our Facebook page, facebook.com/Ion Entertainment Network. You can go out there. It's okay. That's part of live streaming. I've got kids. I know how it goes. You're all good. You're all good. But we have missing persons posters out there, and some people have come out and commented on some of the posters that we have out there that, unfortunately, some of those who are missing. I mean, there was one that was really saddening to see today or yesterday. I think it was a 15-year-old, and he was gunned down. It's like it's so sad, and so we're gonna play this, and if any of these posters are near you, or they grab your heart or your attention, go over to facebook.com/Ion Entertainment Network. It's just a couple clicks on a computer, a couple taps on a mobile phone, and just share those posters out, because just little steps like that can get that out to other eyes who might say, hey, wait a minute, that's that person over there. I mean, you just never know. So we will be right back after a short bit, guys.
You got hurt, someone did you wrong. I can see it in your eyes, it's like your fire's gone. Across your face, it is written across your face. If you wanna talk, I'm right here, not gonna leave your side. Just feel free to open up when the moment's right. Across your face, it is written across your face. If you wanna go out, we can go out. You can hide away just for one night. But if you wanna cry, just let it out. I'm by your side now. Just hold on a bit more, 'cause I know you only see the rain, not the rainbow. Deep down I know you're strong. Give them hell, baby, prove them wrong. Just hold on a bit more, 'cause I know you only see the rain, not the rainbow. I know you'll get up again. Gotta stand up tall, I know you can be brave, brave, brave. I know you can be brave, brave, brave. I know we did you wrong, wish I could take your pain away, 'cause I hate seeing tears streaming down your face. I know you're strong, won't feel this way for long, no. If you wanna go out, we can go out. We can hide away just for one night. But if you wanna cry, just let it out. I'm by your side now. Just hold on a bit more, 'cause I know you only see the rain, not the rainbow. Deep down I know you're strong. Give them hell, baby, prove them wrong. Just hold on a bit more, 'cause I know you only see the rain, not the rainbow. I know you'll get up again. Better stand up tall, I know you can be brave, 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 brave. I know you can be brave, 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 brave. If you wanna go out, we can go out. Brave, brave, brave. We can hide away just for one night. Brave, brave, brave. Just hold on a bit more, 'cause I know you only see the rain, not the rainbow. Deep down I know you're strong. Give them hell, baby, prove them wrong. Just hold on a bit more, 'cause I know you only see the rain, not the rainbow. I know you'll get up again. Better stand up tall, I know you can be brave, 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 brave. I know you can be brave, 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 brave. Brave, 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 brave. Brave, brave, brave. Brave, brave, brave. Brave, brave, brave. Not long ago you got hurt, someone did you wrong. I can see it in your eyes, it's like your fire is gone. Across your face, it is written across your face. If you wanna talk, I'm right here, not gonna leave your side. Just feel free to open up when the moment's right. Across your face, it is written across your face. If you wanna go out, we can go out. You can hide away just for one night. But if you wanna cry, just let it out. I'm by your side now. Just hold on a bit more, 'cause I know you only see the rain, not the rainbow. Deep down I know you're strong. Give them hell, baby, prove them wrong. Just hold on a bit more.
All right, guys, and we are back. Again, for anybody who is tuning in, we have Skyla here with us, and she was discussing the situation with her 21-year-old son who was gunned down in 2018, and there wasn't any justice served. We appreciate having her out here, and she's gonna stick around with us for a while, and Skyla, just don't feel like you're under any pressure. Like if you have to go and do something, just don't feel like you're stuck here with us. But at the same time, you're more than welcome to stay out here with us, as long as we're broadcasting tonight. And we're definitely glad to have you. um, so
So did you want to start with that one, or did you want
yeah,
me just to do the quick update on Cleo? What do you want me to do?
um, why don't you go ahead and do the update on Cleo first, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, well, hear my memory. So, do you have like a brief?
Mm-hmm. So Cleo Smith was a 4-year-old little girl. She went camping with her mother and stepfather at a place called Blowholes campsite over in Western Australia. Um, she had awakened at about 1:30 in the morning, then around the time of her disappearance, wanting water. Um, Evidently, she and her little sister, who was about 1 year old, um, they were sleeping in a separate tent from the parents, and the zipper in the tent was out of reach for Cleo. And when the parents woke up at about 6 in the morning, Cleo and her sleeping bag were gone. Authorities believed that, well, they essentially went and investigated uh, because I've seen different numbers, so I'm going to say roughly between 10 and 30, which I know is a big gap, but between 10 and 30 sex offenders in the area. But this little girl, it sounds like that somebody was watching and they unzipped her tent and just yanked that little girl out, probably while she was in her sleeping bag, and um, and just took off with her. Some authorities had believed that it could have she could have been taken into the trafficking market, and were telling people to watch uh, as the abductor or abductors might be traveling interstate, and so to watch across Australia. But this little girl has been missing for uh, a little while now.
Yeah, she's been missing for must be close to 10 days now or something. No,
I believe so.
it's been well over a week. Anyhow, the update for her is, I guess police are now searching for a mystery car that was seen around the area and the time that she went missing. They didn't say anything about what this car was or anything like that, just that they are searching for this mystery car. And I guess they possibly think that maybe it has something to do with her disappearance.
That's crazy. I was going to say too, Skyla, if you're, you know, if you're in earshot, you're more than welcome to discuss with us too. You don't have to remain in the background if you'd like. You're more than welcome to come out and talk. But I know with kids, I know how that can be too. But just wanted to let you know so you didn't feel like you had to, like stay in the background. You're more than welcome to join the discussion with things. We just kind of read through some articles of things out here. Um, but whatever you're most comfortable with is totally fine. Um, that's crazy with Cleo's case, and I know that the further the time window for disappearance, you know, is open, the more that they are concerned that they're not going to find her alive.
Yeah, well, didn't well, they were testing stuff yesterday, and like fingerprints. It looked like they had the forensics people or something out. I think doing something, and I didn't read the article, so I can't really 100% say. But um, wasn't there something about a rescue team or something? There was something indicating they thought she was maybe not alive, wasn't there?
Um,
Or was that
on,
someone else?
Honestly, I think it was more so the duration of time that she's been missing.
Well, that could be.
Poor little girl.
All right. You want to read the
Yeah, so we have an article here. I just posted it out in the chat, although you guys will see it you'll hear me say it like 7 seconds after. This is probably going to be a very triggering story as well, so just be advised.
Wait, before you start that, can I ask you a serious question?
Uh-huh.
There's a 7-second delay, right? So if you
I-
count to 7, like for the duration of 7 seconds, and then you hear it like after the delay, would you be repeating yourself?
If we were listening to the YouTube video in conjunction with actually talking here through OBS, then yeah.
Yeah, that's what I figured. All right, on with the show. Sorry.
It's all good. The article's title here is Mother and Boyfriend Released After 9-year-old Found Dead. Kids Were Abandoned in Texas Apartment. And it says a neighbor said she complained for months about a bad smell, but nothing was done. Harris County, Texas. A neighbor said she complained for months about a terrible smell coming from an apartment where a child was found dead in Harris County, Texas, but claims nothing was done. The woman spoke to our sister station, ABC 13, a day after the gruesome discovery was made on Sunday afternoon. According to Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez, I've got to zoom in on this a little bit. Tired eyes, I guess. Investigators responded to the apartment complex after they received a call from a 15-year-old claiming that his 9-year-old brother had been dead for a year in the apartment he shared with his siblings. Just one moment. Okay. Just need to check something here. This is just messed up.
Could you imagine? Okay, I got questions for starters.
Yeah.
As somebody said this online, make it make sense. That's what I'm saying.
No. So the article continues and it says the teenage boy also told 911 dispatchers that his parents had not lived in the apartment with him, and his two living siblings, ages 10 and 7, for several months. When deputies arrived, they found skeletal remains consistent with what that teenager boy told dispatchers. The children showed signs of malnourishment and were taken to the hospital to be treated. During a news briefing Sunday afternoon, Gonzalez called the situation horrific after he saw the children had been living. It appears the skeletal remains had been there for an extended period of time. Connecting all the dots, it seems they were in there while the body was deteriorating. Oh my. The 9-year-old's remains were reportedly out in the apartment, not concealed. A next-door neighbor, who did not want to appear on camera, said Monday that the smell coming from the apartment was so bad she would turn off her air conditioner so the smell wouldn't come in. She also claims that she complained to the front office several times about the odor. The woman moved into the complex City Park 11 at West Oaks Apartments about 18 months ago. Yeah, I bet after this place is going to be... She said the apartment where the 9-year-old's remains were found started to smell about 4 to 5 months after she had moved into her unit, she also thought the apartment was abandoned. To ensure the safety of the children, the Department of Family and Protective Services is seeking emergency custody of the three boys. Child Protective Services does have history with the family, but there was no active CPS investigation at the time. The children were discovered alone in their apartment, CPS said in a statement. Late Sunday night, the sheriff's office said the mother of the children and her boyfriend had been found and were being interviewed by law enforcement. By Monday at 9:45 a.m., both the mother and her boyfriend had been released, Gonzalez said, adding that the investigation is ongoing and no charges have been filed. There's a it's like a Twitter post that's given in the article there. I'll be sure to put this out in the description as well. It is useless if the children were enrolled in school while going through this. The three children are now in the county's custody. Neighbors said the apartment complex had been doing inspections the past month. On Sunday, ABC 13 was kicked off the property by management, who wouldn't answer questions about the last time the apartment was inspected. There's going to be some serious investigations going on over there. I mean, you would think that. I believe that's the end of the article, though, guys.
That's a lot of messed up stuff.
Oh my gosh, is it ever?
Like, really messed up.
There's no excuse for that.
Nope. I totally agree. Here, I'll send you a link.
Okay, I'll grab that in just a moment. I'm gonna get this into the description before I end up.
Okay, well, I'll explain. You don't have to have it right up the second. I can start explaining. Alright, so last night, before we ended the show, we were, I guess a little bit before we ended the show, we were talking about that picture and what that picture,
Oh, the picture of the Nancy Grace.
the no DNA one, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, the DNA didn't match. So anyhow, we all said, it looked like it was whatever it was, like somebody had done whatever to the picture. It was Photoshop. I did find the video. It was not Photoshopped, apparently. It really did happen. But she is the only one that's reported on this, and the rest of the world's like, huh? So yeah, apparently she's the one that started the whole DNA didn't match stuff. People do say that it's probably for views. But she probably did. It's hard for people to let go of things. Anyhow, that was weird, but some other stuff came out today that was even stranger. So I'm not even going to get to the biggest thing. Okay, do you want the biggest thing first, or do you want the not so big thing first?
Let's go with the not so big thing first.
All right. Okay, so the not so big thing. So Brian apparently had a girlfriend before Gabby, whose name was Gabby.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Also, something else that's kind of weird with that is that apparently he was the love of her life, and she's so depressed and everything now. And
wow.
Yeah, that was a little bit like, what? At this point, I think people are just coming out to join the circus that has become this case. And I say that because it's a little bit of information that was told by Northport Police today that had everybody wondering how capable they were of really investigating anything or dealing with anything at all. Um, so apparently, remember back on September 15th, and I don't know if they said it then, but remember when Northport Police said that they knew where Brian was, that they had seen him?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So apparently on September 15th, when the Mustang had pulled into the driveway, they saw somebody get out that had a baseball cap on and assumed, I suppose, that it was Brian. However, they came out now and said that he fucked up, basically. And they now realize it's not Brian, it was his mother.
How? How?
That's what people are wondering. What the fuck? Like, how can you. Wait, that doesn't even make sense on any level. They thought somebody who doesn't even look like him was him, and that's how they had their concrete proof that, and they had eyes on him.
Yeah, that concrete's about as solid as quicksand.
So basically, because of that, they allowed him to get away.
Law enforcement is seriously. Oh my gosh. What
Yeah,
is
so
up
that
with
was
that?
pretty big. That was pretty big. Um, some people are also debating whether or not this is big news. I'm not too sure because I don't know. I look at it like maybe, but um, also that Gabby's water bottle was found, I think yesterday or the day before, by those protesters and hikers. And I guess when they called them out for those bones, they never took the bottle. So
Yeah,
one
I
of the
remember hearing that.
protesters had to take it down to the police station.
Wow.
I don't know. It just seems like a whole bunch of chimpanzees are running the show.
Yeah. So I was just worried that we may have lost a skylight. Looks like that the call's still going. I just okay. That's messed up.
Kind of is. So, of course, that's going to cause people to really question everything now.
Yeah,
Some people are saying they should get an investigation into the investigation. I just think that's a lot of investigating.
well, if these first investigations are showing to be not so well, then what good is it going to do if they have further investigations? Like I just don't get it.
Okay, at this point, I would almost believe it coming back that the DNA doesn't match. Like,
I just don't even know.
everything is so screwed up.
It is.
I also find it very strange that nobody is out following the laundries right now. Like, unless they're hidden someplace, like, nobody posted any footage of them, nothing. It's like, so they just let them get away? Like, if they did have something to do with this, you're just going to let them get away?
You know, the issue with this situation is that under the direction of Mr. You know, real estate attorney Bertolino, um, that the actions that they took, whether they intended to or not, sadly, it makes some of those conspiracy theories seem like they could be believable.
I know.
And that sucks.
Got that right. Just crazy.
It is.
It's crazy. But that's basically all I found in. I mean, okay, let's go back to the whole ex girlfriend thing. What are the odds? Like, seriously, what are the odds of him dating a Gabby before he killed Gabby? I mean, I can see it being okay for the fact that perhaps, you don't have to worry about saying somebody else's name because you probably remember it, same name. That would be beneficial to somebody like me because I have a memory probably as good as, well, I don't have a very good memory. But I just, I, okay, we're talking about people who are like 22, 23 years old. And they were together for the last 2 years, 3 years, Gabby and Brian.
Yeah, I believe that is correct.
So they're like 18 or 19 or earlier before when they dated these other people. You're a child. You don't know what the hell you want to do with yourself. God, you can't use that as a. I was so in love. Dude, you didn't know what love was. And you just didn't know.
It's easy to get sucked into things and to make bad choices under those circumstances that can cause a lot of hurt. I mean, I
I
can
want
say
to
the
know.
same. I don't have any regrets about it, though.
Sorry. I
No,
want
you're
to
good.
know, though, where this chick was when Brian was missing. Like it's like people are
Yeah.
coming out of the woodwork for their 15 seconds of fame or whatever.
My question is, I know this is going to sound bad, but do they have YouTube channels? Do they have TikToks? Because all of it's
Oh,
coming
she
out of the
does
woodwork.
Instagram.
Yeah, you can get a lot of deals on Instagram with people for promoting things and things along those lines. Welcome back, Greg.
Yeah, Instagram, definitely. Um, and that's kind of what I was thinking too. Like, what the hell?
Got to build your following and get those numbers up there so that you can start getting some deals with companies. I mean, I saw somebody on there and kudos to her for it. She was a blind mother. She was going through surgery and things, and now I see on her posts on Instagram like I think she's getting paid for doing endorsements and things for these companies for like hair care and a lot of other stuff, and she has probably 10-20,000 people following out there. But people do get paid for doing stuff like that out there.
Yeah. So she has 2,316 posts, 3,693 followers, and is following 414.
Gotcha.
She says right here is her thing for her whatever not accept. What the hell?
Oh no, that's Skyla. Skyla's back. Welcome back.
So she's like not accepting friend requests.
Wow.
But her just post about what day did he get found? How many days ago?
Oh, my memory is not serving me well on that one, honestly. I'd have to go
Okay,
back
was
and
it
look
like
through.
4 days ago? Was it 4 days ago?
Yeah, roughly.
Okay.
Let me go and look at our video history out there.
Just things like I love you eternally. My love always. Just like I guess she's been writing this stuff for days. But
wow. And Skyla, if you're out there and you hear me, you're definitely more than welcome to join in and talk out here.
I'm just listening. I don't even
Gotcha.
know. Look, I'm just listening.
You're all good. You're all good. I just didn't want you to feel like, you had to be in the background or anything like that.
Oh no, I'm fine with listening.
Okay.
Yeah, so I guess this
Yeah, it was a couple of days ago when
five
Brian's.
5 weeks ago she wrote, "Rip, or rest in peace, beautiful. If you are a victim of violence, please speak up. I myself am too a victim. We need to come together to speak on this very serious and sad matter.
Wow.
May Gabby's family find peace and justice." See, I don't know why today is the day that it just had to come out. That's his girlfriend spoke.
It was 4 days ago when the remains were found.
Ooh, yeah, I get that. Anyhow, I don't know. I just, I think it's really weird. I think that, I guess clout will make you do a lot of things.
Well, it does. I mean, unfortunately, like even out here in the YouTube ecosystem, some of these channels, they'll only have guests on that are going to bring them the views. And essentially anybody who's not going to bring them the views, they don't matter. And the stories don't matter, and the stuff that they went through doesn't matter because it's not going to bring them the views. Because I think that the way that YouTube pays, it's like for every 1,000 views you get $5. When you have monetization status, like I don't ever want us getting to that point where like we wouldn't have somebody come out here if they weren't going to get us views. Like that's not the way that either of us I know would want this channel to be.
Well, no, that's just it.
So it's just messed up.
I think everybody deserves to have a voice and has the deserves the ability to be able to speak out and tell their story. And
yeah, in a safe and caring environment. That's the way it should be.
We don't get paid by YouTube to do these shows.
Nope.
We're not monetized.
We're not even halfway to that.
Exactly.
We're getting closer, but
we do it because we enjoy doing it. And, it's
letting
not like
people have their voices.
It's not like we just spend like an hour here, an hour there, doing stuff for these shows. It's a lot of time spent doing stuff for these shows. Like, I spend a lot of time during the day. It's like I get up in the morning and that's the first thing, I'm doing, and I wouldn't want it any other way.
See, I can't say that because, well, you know what I'm spending like 8 hours a day doing now. But even outside of that, it's like, I'll help the boys with the things that they need help with, and and when you send me articles during the day, when I have like a break here and there from work during the day, I'll go and read those articles, and talk to you on lunch break. I mean,
I didn't even really give you a rundown.
No, I was really going by the seat of my pants tonight. I was like, shoot, she's mad at me.
What? Oh, come on.
No,
seriously?
No, I'm just kidding. Oh,
she mad at me?
Really? I'm just kidding. But we're out here because we want to be out here. And, it's awesome to have people like Skyla out here. And, we had Jennifer on the other night. We had Dave Neese on. And just getting to hear these stories that, I know with Skylar's case, it was a high profile case, but like Jennifer's got little to no media attention, and Skylar, if you still hear me, like, it seems like your son's case got very little media attention. Like, those stories deserve to be put out there.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, the media probably didn't cover your son's case very much either, did they? Because like when I was looking, I think that article was like one of the only ones I found.
I don't exactly remember, but I think the only place I saw it was the BND newspaper. Like down here in they don't really do news coverage like that when it's a murder down here in East St. Louis. I don't know why. But you don't really see it all over the news versus like when something happens somewhere else, you see it all over the TV and stuff.
It's probably again just it's like the television version of YouTube. They're only going to cover what brings the most money in, so they can get their like hundreds of thousands of dollars for broadcasting this stuff out there and leaving everybody else like, oh yeah, that's not going to get us ratings, so it doesn't matter.
It's sad but true.
Yeah, no, there definitely
so
wasn't
true.
much on that, was there, Greg? Because I looked too, and I had found like one article, and you had to go through a survey to be able to read it.
Yeah, I don't know what that was about because in the beginning you didn't have to go through all that.
Yeah, I
guess that's something new that they start doing.
Yeah, but they get money for those surveys because if you click on those products, and you go through that list, like which hair care product would you use or would you recommend? And I think that they get some sort of monetary kickback for that, and that's probably their way to justify letting you read the article without paying for a subscription cost. But there's a lot of people who won't even do that. They're like, oh, forget it. I'm not going to waste my time on a survey to read the article.
Yeah, they get discouraged.
And that
answer a whole bunch of questions.
Yeah, exactly. Like then then the survey's like, what time do you go to bed at night? What time you wake? What's your favorite food? Give us your email address so we can send you a lot of marketing. I mean, it's like, and that's like a barrier to the story getting out there.
Mm-hmm. So true.
Yeah, it's messed up.
I don't have any other stories.
Yeah, I don't see anything else new going on either, and so do you want to wrap up, hon?
We could.
And Skylar, is there anything that you'd like to add? We really appreciate you coming out here and sharing your story, and just, I mean, it was just amazing hearing, what you took to after all of this, and as opposed to, allowing the bitterness and things to be consuming, you're trying to help other people, and that says a lot about your character. But is there anything that you'd like to say to, anybody who is either watching now or who might watch, afterwards?
I just want to say that you can't give up. You got to keep pushing because now we're the only voices and the only eyes to speak for our children. And if we don't speak for them, nobody else will. They'll just sweep it right under the rug like everything else. So we got to keep fighting. Just because we don't have closure right now, it doesn't mean we won't get it. You got to go through the rain sometime, through the storm sometime to get to the rain. And better days are coming. Just keep your head up.
Yeah. Amen to that. Well, we appreciate you coming out here with us. And for those who are watching out there right now, or who are watching on the replay, we appreciate each and every one of you. And if you had gotten something from tonight, inspiration, just enjoying the interaction and things, please consider subscribing to our channel as we continue to grow. And to those in the chat who are out here and showing so much love and support, just thank you for being who you are. Thank you for being a part of what makes this channel what it is and for what it's growing into. We appreciate each and every one of you, and wherever you're watching from, at whatever time, we wish you a good morning, a good afternoon, or a good night, and we'll be out here to interact with you again soon, guys. So for now, just take care.
And if there's anything newsworthy in the morning, I will be going live at 10 a.m.
10 a.m. Yep. So be sure to, if you get a notification from that, she found something out there. So, but tentative at 10 a.m. For that, and and then we'll be back here with you at 8 p.m. Pacific tomorrow. And thanks again for coming on here, Skyla.
Yes,
thank you and Lori for having me.
Thank you
anytime.
So much. And you're welcome anytime.
Yeah, anytime that you'd like to come out and talk, and if there's anything going on with the group or anything new with what's going on with the case, just reach out to us. I'm going to be sure to join your group on Facebook, and
I already did.
Yeah, I haven't gotten out there yet, and I'm going to share it out there too. but if there's anything new or if there's anything that you'd like to get out there, just reach out to us and we'll have you back out here again.
I sure will. Thank you.
Anytime.
Thank
Thank
you for
you.
coming.
And have a good one all.
Good night, everybody.